Get this, so a few weeks ago I was running ads, I was getting a $600 cost per book call, so that's a $600 CPA. Needless to say, that sucked, and so I decided I would do everything in my power to learn every single little thing that I could about ads, so I could lower that cost down to be more profitable and make more money. And sure enough, a few weeks later, after I had learned and consumed every single bit of information on the internet possible, I lowered that down to an $8 cost per book call. Now granted, that didn't stay forever and ended up going to about a $20 to $30 cost per book call, but still, that is amazing. So in this video, I'm going to share every single thing that I know about how to run good ads. And for context, I have a bit of a Facebook ad strategy laid out, but most of the information I'll be giving is off the top of my head as I roll through all the different segments of the ads so I can give it to you. So you don't want to skip ahead because all the value will just be flowing off the top of my head. Take your notepad out because I promise you won't want to miss this, because I'm going to share everything I know so you can make good ads and make more money. So let's dive into the Facebook ad strategy that I'm using to get an $8 cost per book call. So there's multiple components, but I like to break it down to 4. There's the creative, there's the offer, there's the conversion, and there's the structure. Okay, and then for context, if you aren't tracking your data, that is number 1, is track your data, because the only way to make good informed decisions on whether your ads are performing or not is by having accurate data to make a decision off of. Okay, because you cannot rely on your emotions. So the structure of the ad campaign I'm running is 1 campaign, 2 ad sets, and then 1 creative in each ad set. Now granted, I've done 3, I've done 4, I've done 5 ad sets, 1 creative in each ad set. Now why we're doing 1 creative in each ad set is so that even if so we can split test properly, right? Because obviously if you put multiple creatives in an ad set, it'll just disperse the budget how it wants. But we want to be able to test the creatives and see what's performing, which is why we do 1 creative per ad set, so we can get better data and split test quicker, better, faster, get better results. Okay, so that is the reason for that. And you can do multiple more ad sets. It just depends on your budget. Okay, I was running a $100 or $100 a day budget with 50 on each, and then I was running a $200 day budget with 50 on each as well. Okay, and then I was running a $100 on day budget with 33 in each. Anyways, you get the point. Okay, and then for context, is after you spend about $100, give or take. Okay, kill your worst ad set, duplicate the best, test the weakest KPI, go from there. All right, so that's a bit of Facebook ad campaign structure for you. And another key thing to note is once you have spent 2.5x or 2 to 3x your target KPI and you haven't got a result, kill that ad set. All right, so for context, let's say if you're trying to get a $50 cost per book call, the second you spend $125, $150 and you haven't got a book call, boom, kill that ad set and make a new one, because obviously it is not performing. So that is that. Now let's dive into the stuff that really matters and what people actually overlook, which is creatives. Okay, number 1 best tip I can give you to get better ads, make better ads, is to funnel hack your competitors. What are other people doing? But take what they do with a grain of salt, because a lot of people are broke. Okay, so you want to see what other people are doing, but take it with a grain of salt, because a lot of people are broke. Alrighty, and so that's one thing I learned with creatives. KPI to be hitting with creatives is 3% CTR all. 3% is a good solid KPI across all industries that most people can hit, because the point of the creative, right, and this is where I'll just throw in sauce here and there wherever I can. The point of the creative is simply just to get somebody to stop. It's not to tell them everything. It's not to sell them. It's simply to get their interest. It's simply to get them to stop scrolling and look at what it is that you're doing. So you don't need to fully sell them. You don't need to tell them every single detail, feature, benefit about what your product or service does. You just need to get them to stop scrolling and listen for a second. Okay, so when you're making your creative, think of how can you get people to stop scrolling, because that's the sole purpose of the creative, nothing else. Okay, and I've read a lot of books on advertising, granted that I wanted to get better, and one of the books, Cash Advertising, one of the most famous statistics is that ads that don't look like ads always perform better. Always ads that don't look like ads will always perform better. Why? Because the point of the ad, the creative, is not to sell them, it's to get them to stop. It's to get them to stop, and then you sell them later, right? You get the point? So the point of creative is to get them to stop. So rethink that. Another thing to think of is when you're making your creative, think of who is the person that's going to be watching this. Who is the person I'm targeting? For example, if you are targeting women, you probably wouldn't use a lot of colors like blue and black and dark, mad, masculine kind of colors. You'd probably use more feminine colors that relate more to women. Okay, because that'll get them to stop more. And so you got to think of who is my ideal audience? One of the biggest mistakes I made is, who am I targeting and what do they want to see? Because at the end of the day, you're not making ads for what you think looks good. You're making ads for the people that you want to click. Okay? And so we got to think about what do these people want to see? What creatives do they want to look at? And so this is something I learned from Alex Ramosi, is in different type of, when he was advertising for gyms, he would use different colors different fonts, different words depending on who he was targeting, right? Because you probably wouldn't target an 18-year-old the same way you target a 60-year-old. Right? They're very different. And so with that being said, you got to make different creatives, different font, different text, different everything for those different types of people because they're different. Okay, and this is a simple tweak that it seems so simple and stupid, yet yielded such a high ROI for me. Okay, because creative is arguably, you could argue it's the most important, because if your creative sucks, nothing else will matter. Right? Nothing else matters if your creative sucks. So if you think about an ad, right, what's the first thing that people see? Well, it's the creative. So who cares about your landing page if nobody's stopping to see your creative? And so how I think of what should I focus on first as a funnel? What do they see first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh? Right? So the last thing they're going to see is your indoctrination sequence. Okay? So it's going to go creative, offer, copy, landing page, pre-call, etc., etc., etc. Right? And so that's why I think of what's the most important. Well, the thing that they see first, which in this case is the creative. Alrighty? Now, some more tips for creatives. The hook is the key factor, right? Split test everything you want. The most important thing, and always will be, is the hook. What do you say in the first 3 seconds? Or what do they see in the first 3 seconds, right? If you're doing a picture versus a video, what do you see versus what do you say? Because this is super important, right? Simply put, it's just like a video. It's like a YouTube video. Any video on the internet, if the hook isn't good, no one's going to watch. And so you got to make sure the hook is good. So if you're going to split test anything in your creative, first split test resonation. What do people resonate with more? What kind of background? What kind of haircut? What kind of outfit are you wearing? What kind of language are you using? What kind of colors are in the ad? And then split test hook. Okay. Another thing I talked about was make an ad that doesn't look like an ad. Right? Stand out from the crowd. Right? If you think about it, there are so many people advertising nowadays. So many people, right? Everybody advertises. And if your ad looks just like everybody else, it will be seen just like everybody else. And so if you really want to stand out and you want people and you want to have better results than anybody else, you have to stand out. One of the best examples I've ever seen of this is Estate AI. Instead of doing normal, hey, real estate, they're a real estate marketing agency. Instead of doing, hey, real estate agents, we guarantee you X, Y, Z, they do like crazy stuff. Jared, the CEO there, he's done videos where essentially he's been out standing on a dock with a life jacket on, being like, real estate agents, something about I'm wearing a life jacket because I can't swim, and if you're relying on X, Y, and Z, then this is your life jacket. Some crazy thing. Another one is he wakes up in a coffin. He like wakes up from a coffin in like a funeral home or something. I don't know what it's exactly like. Wakes up in a coffin and said, real estate agents, Zillow leads are dead. And it's like, whoa, this is unique. Another one that they did, which went super viral and got them some of the craziest results ever, is they made a rap video. A rap video for real estate agents. Crazy, right? Now, yes, this takes effort, but that's the whole point, is it's going to take effort. It's going to take a lot of trials and tribulations and a lot of testing. The one biggest thing I learned about ads, and I should honestly put this on here, is if I could edit it, but I can't, is just test. Like test. The biggest people in the game test all the time. The guy who can test the most and the fastest will always win. Okay, so that's another big thing to learn, is make sure you're testing, and test a ton all the time, 24/7. Test everything. Okay, now. Last thing about the creative, right? Because truth be told, if you can't dial in the creative, nothing else truly matters. Now, it does, but not really. Because imagine you could have the best offer in the world. If you don't present your offer to anybody, it doesn't matter. The same way that if you have an amazing offer, but nobody's stopping to read your offer, no one will click. And so you have to dial in the creative. So really put a lot of emphasis on the creative, and especially the first 3 seconds. And key thing, remember, guys, who's going to be seeing the ad? What kind of people? What do they like? What do they don't like? What colors do they like? What colors do they not like? What do they want to hear? What don't they want to hear? Right? You gotta play to the ideal avatar. Who are they? Literally draw them out and list things that they do, etc. Because at the end of the day, you're not making an ad for you. You're making an ad for them. Not for you. Not what you think looks good. I don't care if you think you look good or bad. The point is to perform well. That's what matters. And in order to perform well, we have to understand, well, who's going to see it? Okay, and that's a huge lesson I learned with creatives. It's like, whoa, I got to think about the ideal audience. Do they want to see me professionally set up here with a nice camera? Or do they just want to see me holding my phone in my car blabbing? And you got to test and figure out what they resonate with the most. Okay, so that is most things I know about creatives. If I think of more later, I'll add it back in here. Let's dive into the offer, right? The offer, the headline, etc. So, first things first, the KPI for this is 1.5% link CTR is a good KPI. Good KPI, solid KPI across most industries, at least in the online service-based world and local business spaces. This is a pretty solid KPI that you want to aim for. Now, let's talk about offer, okay? The first thing that you want to do is make sure that your offer is something positioned as a benefit and something positioned as new. For example, what sounds better? What would you be more likely to click on? Number one, 10 deals closed. Okay, real estate agents, 10 deals closed. Or versus guaranteed 10 closed deals in 90 days using our anti-ads AI. Whoa, in 90 days? Guaranteed? Anti-ads AI? The way I made this is literally using Alex Hormozi's magic headline formula. It works tremendously well. Essentially, what you want to do is you want to have some sort of, if you can have a guarantee, throw your guarantee in there. If you have numbers, throw numbers in there. If you have a time duration, throw the time duration in there. If you have your ideal avatar, throw the ideal avatar in there, and then wrap it with what Hormozi calls a container word, which in this case is anti-ads AI, or blueprint, or boot camp, or accelerator, or challenge, right? Wrap it all in a container word. So what it would look like, another example would be like real estate agents, 10 signed deals in 10 weeks using real estate agents, free blueprint, closing 10 deals in 10 weeks, etc. You get the point, right? Like numbers are crazy, guarantees are crazy, container words, right? System, blueprint, process, accelerator, challenge, boot camp, you name it, all that stuff is like incredibly good because it's shiny and people love that kind of stuff. Now, let's talk about offer, okay? Like we talked about, the creatives don't have to do your selling. So the offer really does. Okay, the creative just has to get them to stop. Your offer has to get them to really sell. And so how do we make a good offer? Well, first off, read Alex Hormozi's, you can't see it, but $100 million offer book, because that will be the number one best book you ever read for making a good offer, especially on ads. But one thing that we can really think of and remember, and this is what I had to internalize, is like, what do the people want? Truly, what do the people want to see? What do they want to hear? And when I thought about this, it's like, okay, well, they probably want a guarantee, but everybody says guarantee. So what else could I do? Well, what do they really want, right? And that's where you gotta start to brainstorm, is what do the people really want? At the end of the day, right? You've heard this saying 1,000 times, I'll say it again. Sell the vacation, right? Sell the dream outcome, not, right? Sell Maui. Sell Hawaii, sell Mexico. Don't sell the baby crying on the plane. Don't sell the plane delays. Don't sell the TSA hassle times, right? Don't sell all the security check-ins. Don't sell that stuff. Sell the outcome. So what is your thing? Allow them to know. Granted, this, obviously, you don't know for everyone, because some people may want money, some may want to travel, some may want freedom, some may just want to spend less time. And so you don't truly know, so you have to make the one that resonates with the most people, right? How you'll find somebody's real why or their real, dream outcome is on the sales call when you ask them. Right, and you probe and you get into it. But in this case, you got to do the one that appeals to the most amount of people, that actually interests people, okay? And so there's a lot of apps, but at the end of the day, testing is the best one for this, right? Test. What will people click on? For example, if right now you wrote 10 closed deals guaranteed versus 10 closed deals guaranteed, only pay after you profit, the pay after you profit will always get more clicks. Always. Well, why? Because it's more interesting, right? People feel like, oh, I don't have to pay? Okay, right? And so, like, how do you get them to click? And so you get people to click by making them think that clicking is in their best interest. I'll say that again. You get people to click by making them think that clicking is in their best interest. Ooh, if I click, I get this. Oh, if I click, right? If you're running lead magnet ads, ooh, if I click, I get access to this. Oh, if I click, I have the potential to close 10 deals in the next 90 days. What is the reason for clicking? Now, here's where we're going to get into something really important, okay? Because obviously, and then copy as well. There's a lot of, I have a video, it talks about how to, I think it's called How to Make Killer Ads 5-Step Framework, something like that. I will link it down below if you want to go watch it. Incredible video, which talks about everything you need to know about creative, copy, headlines, etc. Like all the nitty gritty stuff, okay? Which I highly recommend you go watch, because there's a lot of really, really, really good stuff in there, especially about copy and about how we can make ads for people. Because at the end of the day, something I want you to remember and realize is that your ads are getting sent to humans. Right, you're the people that are seeing your ads are humans, and you're a human as well. And so we got to think of, like, what do humans want to see? What would humans react to? What would humans read? And when we think about this, it sounds so stupid, but like, there's so many times where you write something that sounds robotic, and if you read it back to yourself, you go, "Oh, I'd never click on this." Well, then why do you think other people would? And so we really got to internalize the fact that, hey, look, listen, all that I'm doing, right, is making an ad for another human. Well, how can I just use human psychology to make them want to click? Okay. And so that's one of the biggest things to learn about offers, is making an offer that people actually want, making something that resonates well with them, and trying to stand out, right? Everybody can say 10 closed deals. Okay, how can you add a time frame? Heck, maybe you could add data. Imagine this, I learned this from Hamosi again, okay? Imagine you had an offer that was like, our average partner makes 10K in 10 days. Now that's a cool offer, because it's like 10K in 10 days is the average. Whoa, let me learn more, right? Your point is you want to get them to click. You want to get them to click, right? Let your landing page do the selling. Let your VSL do the selling. Let your copy do the selling. You want to get them to click, right? Whoa, 10K in 10 days, how? Boom, click. You done your job, right? That's the whole point of this, which is why if we can hit this KPI, we're good. Then we can focus on the next one. What's the next KPI? Well, let's go to it. Let's talk about it. Conversion, okay? So this is your lead forms. This is your landing pages. This is your schedulers, whatever your conversion mechanism is. Now, this conversion rate varies across many different industries depending on what your campaign objective is set to. But in the case of most businesses and most people that I talk to, 5 to 10% conversion rate on landing pages is pretty solid. If you're doing forms, you can aim a bit higher. Depending on what your conversion mechanism is, might be different, but we're going to stick with 5 to 10% for a good landing page. So, simply put, okay, you want to make the landing page as a benefit to the person. What do they get from it, right? Because at the end of the day, you got to think about it. People will only do something when it's in their best interest. Let me give you an example. When you are asking for somebody's email, you're asking for it. That's them giving you something. And so what we have to understand is that in order for them to give us their email, they have to believe that them giving us their email, okay, is less valuable than the thing they are getting. Let me repeat. They feel that the thing you are giving them access to, or that they get, is more valuable than their information. And let me give you a little disclaimer. People safeguard their private and personal information like there's no tomorrow. People are so hesitant to give out an email. Truly. Seriously. And so if you want to get more emails, if you want to get more signups, if you want to get more opt-ins, here's a few things you can do. And this is what I did to start getting a way lower cost per book call. Number one is make it congruent. Whatever you put here, put here. Because the reason they click is the reason why you want them to fill out their information. So if they clicked, for example, right, this is my best example I can ever give. Let's say your ad is about bikini girls. Okay, who knows? I don't know, bikini girls. And then some guy sitting there scrolling, I like, oh damn, let me click. And then he clicks and there's no bikini girls and it just says buy your bikini. He'd be like, fuck this shit, let me get out of here. Okay, because the reason he clicked is not the reason that he wants to convert. And so what we have to think is, why are people clicking? And think about it, because maybe you're like, what if your offer says something that doesn't hear, that might be the reason why. But think about it. Why are people clicking? What is the reason for somebody clicking? And once you can figure out the reason why somebody's clicking, give them that thing on the next page and they'll do it. Okay? Because at the end of the day, you have to incentivize people to do something. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're walking with your friend. I don't know. Okay, let's say you're walking with your friend out in the woods, and there's a stick way far away. And you tell him, hey, go get that stick. He's gonna be like, dude, the fuck? No, I'm good. But imagine if you say, hey, go get that stick and I might give you $100. Okay, maybe he'll do it now, maybe, right? Because there's a bit of incentive. But imagine that you say, hey, go get that stick and I'll give you $100 right here. Here's $100. Go get the stick and give it to you. It's yours. He'd go get the stick. And so there's levels to incentivization. And the more we can incentivize somebody, okay, to want to do the thing we want them to do, the more likely they are to do it. And so, simply put, the easiest way to get somebody to convert is to give them something they think is more valuable than the thing they're giving you. Incentivize them to do the thing you want them to do. You want them to convert, give them a good reason why. Most people, and this is one of my biggest problems, why nobody converted. I just expected that people would willingly scroll on their phone, click my ad, and go, oh, yep, I'll book the call. Boom, book, done, call booked. I thought that magically people would just book a call. I thought if I ran ads, boom, I would get calls booked. I had to face reality and realize that wasn't going to happen. I had to realize I had to do some work and I had to give people a reason to book a call. And so what you want to do is you want to position the thing you're giving them as valuable to them. Otherwise, they won't give you their information. They won't sign up for the lead magnet. If the lead magnet is not of more value than their email, they won't give you their email. If them booking a call, if they don't see that as valuable, they won't book a call, simply put. And so the biggest change I can make and advise to you guys and what I did is a few things. Okay, number one, make sure that it's congruent. Whatever it says in your offer should say on your landing page. Congruency. Make sure it's congruent, right? Your copy, right? The words you say in your copy, the language using your copy, the type of offer you make, keep it congruent on the landing page. Because at the end of the day, if somebody clicks for one thing, you give them another thing, they won't want it anymore. So keep it congruent, okay? That's number one. Number two is make sure they understand why they're doing what you want them to do. If you want somebody to fill out a form, make sure they understand why. Don't just say, fill out this form. Don't say that. They won't. They'll be like, why? Say, hey, fill out this form so you can get access to X. Or fill out this form so you can apply for Y. Or fill out this form to save your spot. Tell them why they're doing the thing you want them to do. Otherwise, they won't do it. Simple. They literally won't do it if you don't tell them why. I know it sounds stupid and easy. Man, I'm sitting here looking back at myself like, damn, you were an idiot. And damn, I was. Okay? But my goal is hopefully I can share this with you so you don't have to be an idiot like I was. Okay, and you can save yourself a ton of money. Because I spent a ton of money. Lost a ton of money. Learned a lot of lessons. I'm sharing this all to you. And so hopefully you don't make them as well. And so landing page has to be congruent and has to incentivize them. If you do not do that, game over. Okay? As you can see here, I'm very adamant about this. Oh, and keep this shit simple and congruent. Right? Your landing page is what does a lot of your heavy lifting. Your landing page is what's supposed to help you sell. And so some good things to add in your landing page are case studies, testimonials, social proof, right? At the end of the day, if they've only really seen you on an ad, now they want to see that your thing works. So if we think about Alex Hormozi's dream outcome value equation, we can use the value equation for all of these things. The value equation for the creative to keep watching, the value equation for the offer, the value equation for the landing page. Let's remember it real quick. So, what's on the value equation? Okay, if you don't know this, I'll look it up. Unfortunately, I'm not able to draw, which is very sad. That's okay. The value equation. Can I not draw? Nah. Okay, it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. The value equation on the top is dream outcome times perceived likelihood of achievement divided by on the bottom time delay times effort and sacrifice. Okay. So we want to lower the bottom two, increase the top two. So how can we increase the dream outcome, increase the perceived likelihood of achievement? Now, let me put a contingent on this. Most people run an offer that says, oh, 10 deals closed. Most people can guarantee, oh, we'll guarantee you 10 closed deals. Most people can easily say that. As a matter of fact, if you look at most of the ads out there, all it is people just throwing out guarantees left, right, and center. So just throwing out a guarantee, and I thought, oh, if I just make a good guarantee, boom, I'll get clicks. Doesn't work that way. Okay? And so if you want to get a lot of clicks, you can't just throw out a guarantee, because you gotta realize everybody's just throwing out a guarantee. What you have to do, at least what I realized I had to do, is I had to make it good. I had to make it valuable. I had to use the value equation to really make my offer better. How can I lower the efforts and sacrifice? How can I lower the time delay? How can I increase the perceived likelihood of achievement? Well, if you say our average partner closes 10 deals in the first 90 days using our anti-ads AI with guaranteed results, whoa. Same offer as 10 closed deals, but it sounds way better now because the time delay is down, boom, 90 days. The effort and sacrifice is down because you said, anti-ads AI, so I think it's an AI system. And the perceived likelihood of achievement goes up because you say our average partner. So like, oh, well, there are people already doing this. And so you've now made a way better offer by simply using the value equation. Okay, and so use it, because I realized that just throwing out a guarantee won't cut it anymore. You gotta appeal to people. Let's get back to the landing page. Okay, there's a lot more things that can be said on a landing page. One thing I'll say is test. The biggest thing to test, and always will be with your ads and your landing page, is the headline. Right, before you test the copy, test the headline first. Because I guarantee you the headline will make way more of an impact than anything else on the landing page and on the ad in and of itself. You got to think of the ad and the landing page are very much the same. Like, literally, your headline is your headline, your copy is everything below. Think about it. They're just the exact same thing. Literally. Okay? And so that's why we want to keep it very similar. But if you think about it, what's the first thing they see? When you're scrolling on an ad, the first thing you see is the creative, then the headline offer, then the copy. If you think of a landing page, what's the first thing they see? Well, it's above the fold. Okay, so it's boom, with headline. Again. So split test those things first, because they'll make a way bigger impact. Now, what do you put in landing page? Well, this depends. Like I said, who are you targeting? What do they want to see? Why are they there in the first place? Do you need a VSL? Do you not need a VSL? Do you want to add a bunch of testimonials? Do you not? What do you want? The one thing I can say is the simpler you make it and the easier you make it to do what you want them to do, the more likely they are to do it. For example, if you had 800 different words and buttons and freaking you name it in different tabs, they'd be confused on where to go. Keep it simple. Whatever you want them to do, make it simple to do it. So if you want them to click a button and sign up, make it known that that's what they should do. Make the button big, make it shake, make it move, put an arrow. Make sure they understand that, oh, hey, I have to click this button. And why am I clicking the button? Make sure they know. Right? Make sure if somebody landed on your landing page with no context, they know why they're doing the thing they're about to do. Oh, this person wants me to click this button so I can claim my free strategy session, so I can get my free implementation call, so I can get my free consultation call, so I can claim this newsletter. I don't know. You get the point, okay? So, that, I'm trying to think, and then track data, right? At the end of the day, all the decisions that you are going to make are going to be based off of data. Nothing else. You're not going to go emotionally, oh, my ads aren't performing. No. You're going to go through data. Boom, 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 boom. And for context, some more KPIs to hit. CPM really depends on your niche. 25 to 50 is pretty solid for most industries, a $25 to $50 CPM. And your CPA depends on what you're trying to do, right? Cost per book call can range anywhere from $8 if you're me. Nah, just kidding. More like $50. I did get $8 cost per book call. Obviously, that wasn't consistent after scaling, but from $50 to a couple $100 depending on your niche, right? Depending on what your action is, right? If you're just getting leads, you can get leads for a couple bucks, right? And so depending on whatever your CPA is will depend on that number, but there's a bit more stats for you. But track your data, right? Like really, really track your data, monitor it, because you're going to make changes based off data, not based off emotions. Because if you make changes based off emotions, you're making irrational decisions, and irrational decisions never lead anywhere good. Okay. Now give me a second. I'm gonna see if there's anything that I missed that I really want to add in here, and then I will add it, and then we will end this video off. Oh yes, another thing I want to add in here is something I like to call, or as Hermosi likes to call, create flow, monetize flow, add friction, which is something I'm a huge believer in, which essentially means that before you try and add a bunch of friction, as in a bunch of qualifying questions and X, Y, and Z, create the flow first, monetize it, make money from it, then add friction. So what this would look like, instead of adding, for example, a bunch of qualifying questions in your landing page, or a huge step-by-step process people have to go through, make it easy for them to convert. Make it super easy. Start getting flow, start getting traction, start to get the leads through. Then once you start to get a bunch of leads through and you've made money and you've monetized, and you're like, oh, okay, we need higher quality, then add the friction, then add the qualifying process, then add those extra hoops people have to jump through. But don't add those things initially, because you want to get proof of concept first before anything else. Okay, that's a huge thing that I see people do wrong all the time, is they try and make a huge landing page with huge qualifying questions, and then they end up getting $120 CPMs like I did, and getting no actions, getting no conversions, because they're like, well, and they're sitting here wondering, why am I getting no conversions? It's because, one, you're probably not very good yet because you're just starting out, and two, it's because Facebook is going, well, this guy isn't converting, so we're not gonna prioritize them as much, right? You got to think that Facebook, at the end of the day, it's a competition of you and everybody else. They want to give money to the people who are converting and the best, because they'll spend more money, right? And so Facebook wants you to convert. It does. But if it can't help you convert, it's not their fault. Now, that's a whole other video. I can talk about how Facebook and how these big companies, how they actually operate with ads. That's a totally separate thing. Now, what I will say is, this video is just some high-level overview lessons that I've learned that allow me to go from a $600 cost per book call to an $8 cost per book call after spending thousands and thousands of dollars of mistakes, so you don't have to, okay? That being said, there's a lot of stuff being left out because it's already 30 minutes in, and I don't know about you guys, I wouldn't want to make this a 2-hour-long video. So if you guys want me to kind of break down and talk about these more in depth, like, hey, what does a good creative look like? Or what are the steps to creating a good creative? Or how do you make a good offer? And what do good offers look like? And what are key things to look for? Or copy, or conversions, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then comment down below and let me know what it is exactly that you want to see. And I'll make a more in-depth video explaining everything I know about one specific topic so we can get more in depth. But I thought I would make this high-level overview video to kind of give you some high-level mistakes that I made, so you don't have to, which can save you a ton of money. Okay, I can guarantee if you watch these last 29 minutes, you will save yourself thousands of dollars, because well, at least I don't know if I can guarantee you this. Maybe I'm making too good of an offer here, but it saved me. I spent $1,000 to learn these lessons. So if you watch this video, you basically just acquired thousands of dollars of data and knowledge because I learned it for you. Okay, that being said, I have nothing else for this video. All I'm gonna say is just remember. Okay, remember these two things. Who is going to be seeing the ad and track your frickin' data? Who's going to be seeing the ad and track your frickin' data? And third one is test. Test, 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 test. Test, 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 test every single time, everything. And, let me make sure, don't test a million different things at once, right? You can't test the creatives, the offer, the conversion, and the structure all at once. You need to be testing one thing, otherwise you can't know what the reason was, right? If you're trying to figure out, oh hey, I want to see if I tie my shoes this way and wear my belt this way and do my hair this way and put my nose this way and wear this wrist strap and put on this watch and then have this shirt on this specific way with this type of pants and this type of sock, if I'll perform better. If you perform better, you won't know why because you tried 8 different things. Do one at a time so you can understand what is the thing that's yielding, what is the actual, what one's right, what one's wrong. Okay, so make sure when you test, you're just testing one variable. You can't test 8 different variables at once. We clear? Capiche, capiche, potato, potato, tomato, tomato. That being said, my friends, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. If you have any questions, drop them down below. And if you like content like this, let me know and go watch some other videos about ads because I hope that me spending a ton of money will save you a lot more in the future. Peace.